You have taught a lot of people a lot of things, including myself. And I just wanted to ask you the question, of all of the lessons that you've taught, is there one that is the stickiest to you, the one that sticks out above the others?
A lot of them, but I can narrow it down. First and foremost, it's an honor to be on this Zoom call, to be in the midst of you. I've heard some things that I'm so touched by from all three of you so far that have gone before me. I'm a graduate of the University of Houston, undergrad and master's, way back 69 and 72. Born and raised in New Orleans, Louisiana, so I know a little bit about LSU before integration, a long time back. So having said that, I'm from a different generation. I turned 72 years old several weeks ago. So I've seen a lot of things. I've experienced a lot of things. I've endured a lot of things. One of the most important lessons that I have learned, not just have taught, I have learned, because all I ever teach is what I've learned. It's my life that I teach. That's what I teach from. And one of the most important things I've learned and passed on, and still pass on, is that it's not so much in life what happens to us, it's what we do with it. It's how we deal with it. And this comes from my generation. We knew what was going on. We knew who, all about race, and I'm from the era of Jim Crow. We understood what the obstacles were. But we were also taught to never let that defeat you or stop you. So again, it's not so much what happens to us in life, it's what we do with it. It's how we deal with it. And I came to understand what I call an AT&T club. So how do we adapt? How do you deal with what shows up? How do we adapt? I don't mean sell out, never, ever, but sell up. So how do we adapt? And then the first T is, how do we transcend? In my generation, we always got through it. There were no other options. Well, there was, I'd become a victim, but never, ever. So you always knew you had to get through it, over it, under it, around it, or right through it. And then the last T is, how do you grow and transform into a better version of yourself? Those are things I learned from people around me who look like me, because two separate worlds. And I learned this threefold. I refuse to quit. I refuse to give up. I refuse to become a victim. Those things were instilled in me early in life, in the heart of segregation. They were instilled in me. My coaching career, I came to understand, and this is all relative and connected, in coaching basketball, 94 by 50 feet. You would say it's a basketball court, but in reality, it's a life court. Because everything that happens on that basketball court is happening in real life. Decision-making, problem solving, cause and effect, equity, diversity, happiness, sadness, joy, depression, exhilaration, everything. And that's how I began to teach the game. I would tell people, I'm tricking you. I'm using this basketball to teach you about life. Because everything that happens on this court is showing up in real life. So those are some of the things, and I have to say it that way, that I've learned in my journey. Is simply I pass on. As a coach, I'm a life coach and a consultant at a you could say, an alternative school where the needs are great. So many lives are hanging in the balance, teetering on the edge. I could say more, but that's probably enough.